I'm Alan Spears with Occupy Democrats, and in some breaking news today, we have just learned that conservatives are already in motion and taking steps to attempt to censor and silence Kamala Harris. Now, if you have somehow managed to miss out on the biggest news of perhaps the year, President Biden did in fact announce just yesterday that he will no longer be seeking re-election and decided to fully endorse Kamala Harris as the new Democratic nominee. Now, this decision sent absolute waves through the political world and on both sides of the aisle, as some Democrats were very relieved and thankful and appreciative of the president and commended him for being a true patriot and essentially taking one for the team. And some Democrats were a little less than pleased and felt like he was being pushed out or ousted by other political players. Now, of course, there were a handful of Republicans who are with it enough to recognize that Donald Trump is a danger and not supporting him, and rather decided to endorse President Biden, or at this point now, Kamala Harris. However, the vast majority of Republicans were absolutely losing their minds. Perhaps none losing their mind more than the presidential nominee himself, Donald Trump, as he took to social media just moments after learning about President Biden's withdrawal from the race, and rather than showing any degree of sportsmanship or just saying wishing him the best or really showing any semblance of decency, decided to viciously attack him in a very bizarre and rambling post. But at this point, I'm pretty sure no one is surprised by the wretched and childlike nature that Donald Trump constantly displays. But I really can't help but notice and laugh that once again, the Republicans are caught with their pants down and looking like utter hypocrites. For years now, the Republicans have just been droning on and on saying that they're the party of law and order, that they're the party of Lincoln, that they're the party that backs the blue. And well, guys, it doesn't seem like that worked out too well for you, did it? Your guy, your nominee, Donald Trump, is a convicted felon, whereas now the Democratic nominee, or at least the presumptive nominee, Kamala Harris, she was the Attorney General. If you're really wanting someone that embodies the law and represents its interests and well-being, well, an Attorney General's a pretty good one. But of course, the Republicans aren't the party of law and order. They're the party of doing whatever the hell they want and getting away with it. And it would seem that that trend of getting away with a wide variety of crimes and shady dealings is in full effect now, and brings us into our breaking story. Now, as many of you who are unfortunately online as much as I am know, there are a variety of different accounts on social media that are specifically dedicated to both political parties and their candidates and representatives. You might even see someone who's in a higher position of authority or power, such as the president or a governor or whatever, really. They may even own a number of different accounts. And of course, with the election season in full swing and Harris's campaign just kicking off, but with a bang, it only makes sense that, much like how President Biden had the Biden HQ Twitter account, Harris would have her own, perhaps a Harris HQ account. And that is indeed what happened, as the Harris HQ Twitter account, or X account, was created just a number of hours ago to help kind of provide a bit of speedy responses or rapid posts to provide updates as to what Kamala Harris will be doing or where she will be, or any number of different posts. Now, as I'm pretty sure all of you know at this point, but if there is an account that you want to stay updated on, you follow it. You can follow accounts on Twitter or X, you can follow Instagram accounts, you can follow pretty much anything. We live in a following world. But as the Harris HQ account was created and users flocked to Twitter or X to follow and show their support, they encountered a number of different issues. As the Harris HQ account was created and users flocked to Twitter or the X to follow the account to stay updated, they quickly encountered that they could not. And in fact, it would seem that the man himself, Elon Musk, is perhaps allegedly causing just a wee little bit of election interference. It would seem that when Elon is tanking the stock value of his various companies and holdings, he is enjoying doing some shit posting online, and that has been extended now into interfering with one's ability to follow an account. Now, in a breaking story, according to Newsweek, a number of X users took to the platform to complain that they were unable to follow the @Kamala HQ account, which has been described as, quote, the official rapid response page of Vice President Harris's presidential campaign. The View co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin, who served as a Trump aide but has since turned against the former president, was among those to share that she was having issues with following the account. Sharing a screenshot of a notification she had received from the platform, Griffin wrote, quote, tried to follow the @Kamala HQ account and X gave me the below message and blocked me from following. Bizarre. I follow under 1,000 people. We've also seen similar screenshots of other users and their similar experiences, with one user writing, quote, not to go full Elon Musk conspiracy, but I can follow any account except @Kamala HQ. Now, to add to this conspiracy, we actually had an ex-user, Fernando Antonio, post a screen recording and demonstrating the fact that they couldn't follow the Kamala HQ account. They received a notification saying they can't follow anymore, but then they can go follow other accounts. Now, we also had some journalists and other notable people, such as David Leavitt, sharing their own experiences and finding out they too couldn't follow the Kamala HQ account. David posted, Twitter's preventing users from following the Kamala Harris @Kamala HQ account. It's almost as if Elon Musk is engaging in election interference. Ironically, it's the top news story by the Twitter AI grok in the For You tab. And I do have to say, it is a little bit hilarious that if Elon Musk decided to play a little bit of interference with this sort of stuff, it seems to have woefully backfired, as everyone is talking about this and realizing that this is either a strategy employed by him and these conservatives to try to censor Kamala Harris and her campaign, or it is just once again full display of the incompetency of Musk and his new Twitter, or X. Now, despite the fact that Elon seems to be terminally online, and despite having numerous businesses he's supposed to run, can find the time to shitpost and harass people, he remained suspiciously silent on this matter when users approached him with this issue. Again, according to Newsweek, Musk, who interacted with a number of X posts mocking and criticizing Harris while expressing support for Trump on Sunday, did not appear to address the issue, which many X users shared had been subsequently resolved. He did, however, share that the @Biden HQ X account had been taken down, following the president's announcement that he was quitting his re-election efforts. The billionaire businessman, who acquired X in 2022, wrote, quote, sure did, alongside a screenshot that showed the account could no longer be found. Musk also shared that there had been other issues on X where a number of, quote, good accounts were unfortunately caught in a reply spam net. As of press time, that particular issue appeared to have been resolved. So yes, it would seem that after the crowds cried foul, that this issue has been resolved, fortunately for all of us. And you know, I just gotta say that if it was a conservative, if it was Donald Trump, or if it was perhaps J.D. Vance, who has just recently been announced as Trump's vice presidential pick, if either of those accounts had been mysteriously unable to be followed, conservatives would lose their mind. There would be rioting and bloodshed in the streets, thinking that their First Amendment rights were being completely destroyed. This is the exact kind of shit that Republicans and conservatives always have to employ. They can never, ever just have a fair fight, fair election, fair anything. They always have to play dirty and play foul. And seriously, Elon Musk isn't a Republican or a conservative either, no matter what he might say or who he might support. The man is just a narcissist. He loves having attention on him, and he acts like a child. Less than 2 years ago, we even see a post from Musk critiquing Donald Trump, saying that he would be too old. And where did this Elon go? Why is he suddenly in 2 years' time done a complete 180? It's because Elon doesn't believe in anything. He doesn't care about politics, not really. The man just wants attention, and he'll say what's controversial and taboo at the time to be in headlines and to see his name appear in the spotlight. It really is the exact same sort of method of attention seeking that Trump embodies, and frankly, it wouldn't surprise me if Elon does actually like Donald Trump, but I do thoroughly believe that he doesn't care about the political portion or what his actual platform or ideologies are. Musk and Trump and so many of these just eccentric right-wing billionaires, they seem like they are missing a vital component in their brain that anchors them to reality, and it's getting scary. These people have a ton of money to throw around, and it is increasingly more concerning when you have people like Musk and like Trump who control these large platforms where, in theory, they are meant to be these gathering places of free speech where you can share ideas and thoughts, at least in theory, and they can utilize their power and their wealth and their influence to suppress those voices and thoughts that they don't like or that they don't share. Now, while there isn't any direct evidence of Elon interfering with this or playing foul or this being any part of a larger conspiracy, it does reek, and it seems incredibly fishy, and usually where there's smoke, there's fire, especially with Republicans. This is a textbook play from them. They constantly try to interfere with freedom of speech, with our bodily autonomy, with our rights, and then they'll turn around and blame or condemn the left for doing the very thing that they themselves are enacting. It's tiresome and played out, and I really wish that Republicans, especially like Elon Musk, just grow the hell up. But to end on some good news, it would seem that the announcement of President Biden no longer seeking re-election and the endorsement and presumed nomination of Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee, it has energized the left, to say the least, and I do have a very good feeling about this upcoming election. And of course, we do have a second presidential debate on the way, and I cannot express to you in words that can fully convey how excited I am to see Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump. Do I think Trump will actually show up and debate her? No, I don't, but a man can dream. And until then, make sure you register to vote, and make sure that if you are registered, mark your calendars. I'm going to be saying this until we get there.